20 trends from the 70s that have returned to fashion in 2025 and 2026. And many of these trends may already be in your wardrobe. Want to know which ones? Come with me. Number 1 is flare jeans. Flare jeans bring that slightly retro yet modern vibe. They were one of the greatest symbols of the 70s, when we had the bell-bottom phenomenon, jeans with a very wide and comfortable lower part, bringing that sense of freedom and which, of course, shaped the whole aesthetic of the hippie movement. In 2026, flare jeans return revamped with more sophisticated washes and slightly more sustainable fabrics. For example, we will see flare jeans in darker tones, often with a more elegant and sophisticated touch. In fact, I'd say that the choice of the classic blue, especially that darker shade of blue, is one of the best options if you're looking for a piece that will last a long time, a piece that becomes timeless. These jeans are also amazing for women who love boots and platforms, since they go very well with the aesthetic of both pieces and also bring great comfort when worn. An incredible outfit idea is to pair them with blouses that are more fluid and lighter, especially since these pieces are part of the boho chic style, which is very trendy for both 2025 and 2026. This type of jeans, in my opinion, brings a subtly sensual touch without being too daring, and they look beautiful on women who want to highlight an hourglass-shaped body. If you like the hourglass silhouette, it's definitely a choice that must be in your wardrobe. They are also a wonderful option for those who like the boho urban style or an elegant look with a slightly different twist. These jeans were undoubtedly the uniform of artists and rebellious youth in the 70s, but today, they are synonymous with a creative and at the same time timeless style. Number 2 is the floral dress. The floral dress is romantic and at the same time timeless. Back in the 70s, florals symbolized the flower power movement, translating into peace and lightness. In 2026, they continue to bring this expression of femininity, but of course, always modernized and updated. The floral dress models of 2026 are characterized by being more fluid, slightly sheer, and can feature either more delicate prints or slightly larger ones. It will depend a little on your personal style and also on your body type. Smaller floral prints tend to rejuvenate and look a bit more subtle, more delicate, and therefore a little more sophisticated, but it will all depend on the model and the choice of fabric. There are several factors involved. What I think is worth paying attention to is whether the floral pattern matches the colors that flatter you. So, if you are an autumn woman, go for florals with autumn tones. If you are a winter woman, do the same. Choose the colors that match your winter palette, and so on. This type of dress looks perfect with flat sandals, but it is also very interesting with shoes that have block heels. This way, you'll have more comfort and can also wear this type of dress at night. In fact, models that are not too voluminous, more body-hugging ones, are perfect for evening events as they don't look too romantic, but rather a bit more sophisticated and with subtle sensuality. This is the kind of dress that is perfect for those who like the romantic style, for those who like the boho style, but also for women who enjoy a casual look. I believe it's a dress that every woman should have in her wardrobe. After all, florals are timeless. They never go out of fashion, so they are always a good choice. If you're unsure about which floral to choose, I would recommend going for darker backgrounds, as they are easier to style. They are the famous winter florals, but they can be worn all year round. Avoid, of course, very colorful florals with too many mixed shades, because unfortunately, these are a little trickier to style and can create the appearance of excessive mixture, of something disorganized, a slightly messy look. So, when in doubt, the simpler the floral, the better. Number 3 is boat shoes. Boat shoes appeared around the 1930s as nautical footwear, but became strongly associated with the preppy style, seaside leisure, and also gained popularity in the 70s. In 2026, they reappear as a more versatile and comfortable option, ideal for everyday urban looks. You can choose more classic models in leather, suede, including colored suede, or even those with slightly chunkier soles. It will depend on your personal style. I think they're incredible for casual looks with jeans, shorts, or shirt dresses, as they add an elegant and sophisticated yet comfortable touch. They are an excellent choice to replace flat sandals or even ballet flats if you're not in the mood for those pieces. They also bring a slightly more masculine touch to your outfit, which makes them pair very well with tailoring and button-up shirts, creating a very interesting combination. This is a piece that, despite being distinctive, has that timeless feel. It seems means that even if they're not highly trendy, they still look like they never go out of style. After all, they are strongly linked to classic fashion. That's why they are an excellent choice for those who like the traditional style, the minimalist style, and also the casual style. Since you can easily blend this sporty yet sophisticated aesthetic with them, they are very much in fashion at the moment. So, if you like this style, if you like the preppy aesthetic, I'd say they're an excellent piece to buy right now, especially because they're not always trending. So, take advantage of the moment. Number 4 is scarves. Scarves are incredible, sophisticated pieces and, at the same time, very practical. In the 70s, scarves were worn as headbands. They could also be used as an improvised top and even as a detail on bags. In 2026, they continue to appear as multifunctional pieces. In fact, last summer, these scarves were also seen being worn as tops, meaning you can replace that tank top with a scarf. Of course, taking the proper precautions, right, ladies? Tying it in a way that won't fall off. One tip is to start adding scarves to your outfits, especially with one tied around the neck, used as a headband, or even as a belt. If you've never worn a scarf before, this is an excellent way to start including them in your looks. If you are a bit bolder, I'd say it's super interesting to wear these scarves as tops. That's right. You can replace your top with a scarf, but in this case, they need to be slightly larger pieces. You won't be able to do that with a very small scarf, so be careful. An important detail is the material of the scarf. It can be silk or satin. A tip I saw and found amazing is to run a ring through the scarf. That's right. Take a metal ring and slide the scarf through it. If the ring slides without making much noise and with ease, that is a silk scarf. Now, if the ring has difficulty sliding, if it catches on the fabric, that scarf is satin, meaning it is not a natural material. So here's a small trick. But regardless of whether you choose satin or silk, the important thing is that the scarf is soft and pliable. Be very careful with scarves made of synthetic materials, which are not soft, lack fluidity, and have no flexibility because they're hard to wear, especially if you choose to wear the scarf around the neck. It can cause quite a bit of discomfort. Scarves are an incredible and practical alternative, ideal for women who like the boho, creative, and also elegant style. That is, they flatter most women. And if you are a woman with a more traditional style who wants to add a little more color and creativity to your looks, scarves are also perfect for you. In the 70s, they were an accessory symbolizing freedom, but now, in 2026, they appear as a symbol of versatility. Number 5 is the halter dress, which was also a craze in the 70s, especially at parties and discos. It highlights sensuality, but with sophistication. This dress ties at the back of the neck and usually leaves the back exposed. It may or may not have a neckline, meaning you can wear it in different ways and with different styling proposals. You can choose flowing models, fitted ones, or even embroidered versions. If you want a slightly more boho approach, the interesting thing about this dress is that it can be worn in more formal situations, such as graduations and weddings. In fact, it is an excellent choice both for brides and bridesmaids. In other words, a beautiful, timeless piece that will definitely make you look stunning. You can wear it with heels, especially at parties, but you can also wear it with lighter sandals for daytime, bringing a more relaxed touch. The interesting thing about this dress is that it emphasizes the shoulders and helps women with smaller busts, as it harmonizes the silhouette. It flatters women with glam, elegant, and also modern style. If you like the 70s aesthetic but prefer a more timeless and chic piece, this dress is certainly perfect and also one of the best shopping choices for 2026. Number 6 is the bomber jacket. This jacket is urban and cool. The bomber jacket was adapted for young fashion in the 70s, bringing a sportier look. In 2026, an excellent choice is leather options, as they bring more sophistication. You can even go for printed models, but I'd say the more traditional leather ones, especially black and brown, are the best choices. Another detail is that this jacket flatters all body types. It doesn't matter if you are slimmer or curvier, it will look good on you. It's the kind of jacket that goes really well with a more casual style, especially jeans and a t-shirt, but also with flowy dresses, creating a super interesting contrast. It's a jacket that goes really well with boho chic, a big trend for 2026. You can choose smooth leather models or those with slightly distressed leather, which bring more personality and a vintage, retro, super interesting vibe. This piece piece works very well for women with an urban style, but also flatters sporty and modern styles. And, of course, if you have a creative style, this piece will certainly work for you as well, since creative style pairs well with almost anything. Number 7 is the hat, which, in addition to protecting our skin, is also very charming. In the 70s, wide-brimmed hats complemented both the boho and hippie looks. In 2026, this accessory makes a comeback, now in a huge variety of options. You can choose wider models, the typical cowboy style, and even berets, which are also on trend. It really depends on your style. Hats can be paired with shirt dresses, flowy dresses, or even with the basic day-to-day combo of jeans and a t-shirt. After all, we're talking about a piece that, on its own, already draws a lot of attention. They are also interesting for those who want to highlight the face, since it's not an accessory that everyone wears on a daily basis. In addition, they flatter all body types, but with one caveat. If you are petite, I recommend pieces with a smaller brim. If the brim is too large, it can throw off your proportions, creating a slightly awkward situation. It's ideal for those who like a bohemian style, but it also works very well in a casual style. And if you are a creative woman, the hat is perfect for you. If you prefer more classic and traditional models, the hat will also work very well in your wardrobe, but always with a more sophisticated and elegant touch. Number 8 is blouses with a light transparency. Transparency was one of the major hits of 2026. It appeared in most collections, in most runway shows, so it is definitely a trend coming in very strongly. What we are seeing in fashion are blouses that bring this soft transparency. It's nothing too bold, nothing that leaves parts of the body exposed. The idea here is to bring a slightly more fluid touch, lightness, and movement. That's why we usually see layers of ruffles creating this transparency that looks simply divine and adds that ethereal touch. We'll also see many earthy tones, as well as burgundy, and a light off-white shade, similar to wax paper. These are the main ones. You will also find tones leaning toward turquoise and blue, which also bring that boho and hippie aesthetic. In other words, they are wonderful shades that flatter most women and will certainly flatter you as well. What I find interesting about these blouses, especially those with slightly larger ruffles, is that they help disguise any imperfections, anything that might bother you. So, whether it's a small tummy, slightly flabby arms, or anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, you can cover it with this type of blouse. But without it feeling too closed up or too warm, since we're talking about a fabric that is lighter, more fluid, and a little transparent, which adds freshness. I think this type of blouse, besides being very fashionable, is beautiful and goes really well with women who have a modern style. Those who also enjoy that boho glam vibe will definitely love this aesthetic. And if your style is urban or creative, it will work just as well for you. It's a piece that is in fashion, it's a piece I find beautiful, stunning, and I would say it's worth at least trying on. Try it. See if you like it. If you do, it's a purchase that is the essence of 2026. And tell me, do you like 70s trends? Is there any decade you like more? One that inspires your style? You know your opinion influences the opinions of the other subscribers here on the channel. So leave your comment, and of course, you know it helps me a lot when you also write today's magic words, which are 70s back in 2026. I know, this time it got a little long, but I count on your help, right? After all, I'm here every day bringing you a video made with all my care, so comment with the magic words, because you'll be helping me a lot. While you do that, let's move on with the video. Number 9 is the safari dress. This type of dress is both practical and elegant. It carries that sophisticated yet utilitarian presence, and that is exactly why in 2026 it is set to be a big hit. A key feature of this dress is that it usually comes with pockets, a belt, and neutral tones. In other words, it's the perfect everyday dress, especially for the modern woman who needs to accomplish a lot and doesn't have time to waste. You can pair it with flat sandals during the day or with heels at night. Without a doubt, it's a dress with a slightly more traditional look. So, if you're a woman who enjoys elegance but doesn't go for anything too glamorous and prefers more utilitarian pieces perfect for everyday life, this is a dress made for you. It also flatters all body types, so it works for everyone. Whether you are slim, curvy, with a fuller bust or a smaller bust, every woman looks gorgeous in this type of dress, which, in my opinion, also carries a lot of personality. It also works well for those who like urban style or minimalist style. And if you're someone who loves a wardrobe entirely in neutral tones, this one is perfect for you. Number 10 is oversized sunglasses. In other words, giant sunglasses. Without a doubt, they are iconic and modern. Back in the 70s, they were synonymous with power and style. But in 2026, although still bold, they bring a slightly more sophisticated touch. You can choose from various models. Here we have options like square frames, round frames, aviators. There's something for every taste. The key is knowing which model flatters you best, and that will also depend on what you want to highlight in your face. If you want to make your face look rounder, go for rounded frames. If you want to emphasize angles and make your face look squarer, opt for square models. That way, you create harmony in your face. Another detail is that women with long faces should go for elongated styles, such as aviators, while women with smaller, shorter faces should avoid frames that are too long, otherwise they cover the entire face and disrupt harmony. These sunglasses are perfect if your style is creative, since you can have countless options in a huge variety of colors, frames, and finishes. If your style is glam, they will also work beautifully for you. And of course, they can be adapted to all other styles depending on the frame and finish, so they don't come across as too bold. If your style is urban, they will also suit you. In short, this is a trend straight from the 70s that brings lots of attitude, presence, and personality to 2026 and suits everyone. After all, sunglasses, especially sunglasses, are items everyone should wear. Number 11 is clogs. Wooden clogs dominated the 70s, bringing that folk style mixed with hippie vibes. In 2026, they return, and this block-heeled model looks simply amazing. You'll find open styles, but the ones I've seen the most are closed at the front. We'll even see printed versions, especially cowhide print, which is a huge hit at the moment. You can pair them with a wide variety of pants, but I think they go especially well with flowy bohemian dresses and flare jeans. In these looks, clogs look simply stunning. They flatter all body types, but I think shorter women benefit the most from this shoe as it gives a nice boost in height without the discomfort of a thin stiletto. This was an almost essential piece in young fashion during the 70s. I'm really glad because it's a piece that was a bit forgotten and is now back in fashion. It's not that easy to find in a thrift shop, but you can try. In fact, right now, I believe there's a rush at thrift shops to buy this piece with that little discount. So don't wait too long, because soon, this piece will become even more popular. It will be one of the big hits, and then it will be harder to find at an affordable price. Whether your style is boho, casual, urban, or even creative, this is a piece that will fit perfectly into your wardrobe. Number 12 is the paint stroke print. This is an artistic and creative print. If you're already familiar with tie-dye, you know it was a big trend in the 70s. However, in 2026, we will have a slightly softer and more subtle version of this print, which is the paint stroke print. Here, dresses, blouses, shirts, and scarves will feature a gentler tie-dye without so many patterns. The idea is to bring a light gradient between the colors without being too flashy or too bold. It flatters all body types, so if you like this print, no problem, you'll look beautiful regardless of your body shape. Of course, it is a bold and usually very colorful print. My tip is not to choose a hyper-colored dress, that kind of dress with 4, 5, or even 10 colors. Opt for a dress with no more than 3. It will be easier to combine and you won't get stressed when putting together your outfits. If you're very creative, then you can choose those bolder models with a larger number of colors. It's also a print you can make at home with dyeing processes. However, I would say that, to avoid mistakes, the best option is to buy it ready-made. This way, you prevent unwanted color blending because, let's be honest, making a beautiful and sophisticated tie-dye is very hard. Usually, one color bleeds into the other. So, my advice is to choose a piece made with good textile technology, one where the colors won't bleed during washing. Be careful so that this beautiful piece doesn't end up ruined due to lack of care or because you bought something too cheap with poor quality that stained itself after washing. Number 13 is platform shoes. They were a great symbol of disco aesthetics in the 70s, uniting height, versatility, and boldness. In 2026, they are back, especially those models with a full platform sole. Of course, you can also opt for wedges, but those with a full platform are, without a doubt, super comfortable. You can wear them with dresses, skirts, jeans, and even flare jeans, which we mentioned earlier. If you're petite, this type of shoe will elongate you. However, it won't elongate with that super elegant, super sophisticated aesthetic. In fact, it brings a more creative, youthful, and even playful look, so it will depend on your style. If you're a very classic, very elegant woman, it's not the kind of shoe I think you should add to your wardrobe, but if you enjoy a more relaxed, fun aesthetic, I think this shoe is perfect for you. And here we're talking about everything sandals, boots, open and closed shoes. There's something for every taste, including bolder colors if you want to embrace this 70s inspired trend. It could be orange, green, or brown, any color works. But of course, the classics like black and brown are the shades that are trending and will always remain, as they're more timeless. Afraid of regretting your platform shoe choice? Go for black, brown, or off-white. These classics rarely go out of style. In other words, they're timeless tones. Choose among them, and you'll be making a safe purchase. Number 14 is Fringe. Fringe is dynamic and fun. They certainly mark the boho and western styles of the 70s. And in 2026, you'll find all kinds of pieces with fringe. Blouses, jackets, bags, boots, a huge variety of items with fringe. One thing you need to be careful with when it comes to fringe is that it tends to get caught on things. So, if you're a bit clumsy, I don't recommend this trend for you. And I say this as someone who is clumsy myself. Since I'm not very careful, it's easy for me to get fringe caught on a door or chair. So I avoid it, especially when it comes to those loop-style fringes. Those are terrible when it comes to snagging on things. So be careful with them. Despite that, it's a very interesting aesthetic, and fringe brings a lot of personality. I'd say a good place to start with this trend is bags, since it's easy to add them into your outfits. And if you get tired of it, you can just put them away in your closet and it's all good. You can also choose dresses completely made of fringe. I actually find them stunning, but they're hard to care for, okay? They're hard to wash, hard to maintain, and can easily get caught. So, be very careful, especially if you choose a fringe dress for a very special event, because it might cause some issues. That's why, even though I find them beautiful, I personally don't wear them. Fringe flatters all body types, but if your style is boho, glam, or creative, it will work very well for you. Fringe is the face of a good festival. No wonder it came from the 70s festivals and is still worn today. So, if you also like this slightly festival-inspired style, fringe will definitely fit into your wardrobe. And if you're enjoying this video, you need to be subscribed to this channel, because here we have new videos every day, always with tips, beauty tips, outfit ideas, and trend insights. That way, you'll stay stylish, and even better, feel more and more beautiful. So, subscribe and activate the notification bell. This way, every time a new video comes out, YouTube will let you know right on your phone. While you do that, let's keep going with the video. Number 15, which could not be left out, is boho chic. After all, boho chic is one of the big trends of 2026 and was also a major hit in the 70s, inspired by the hippie and gypsy movements. In 2026, it gains a lot of sophistication, leaving aside some of the prints and embracing smoother fabrics. In this case, we'll also see combinations with metals, giving it a more luxurious look. The idea is to combine fluid and ethereal elements with sophisticated touches. So, we'll see pairings with lots of leather, gold, and silver. The idea here is to bring a more elevated and even glamorous side to boho chic. Boho chic is perfect for women who like a romantic style and also for those who enjoy a creative style. It's also super interesting, especially this 2026 version for women who liked bohemian style but thought it was too caricatured with an excess of prints. In 2026, it will be elevated, updated, and a bit more sophisticated. So, if you liked bohemian style but found it too exaggerated, this version may appeal to you. It's certainly a bold and creative trend. Number 16 is print mixing. In the 70s, the idea was lots of color and lots of joy, and that's exactly why this overload of prints worked so well back then. In 2026, print mixing returns, but in a more balanced way. Here, you can mix whatever you want, but not everyone can pull off a good print mix. One tip is to mix organic and inorganic elements. For example, stripes with flowers, plaid with fish, or elements like birds with polka dots. That way, you can create looks that, despite being printed, won't look messy. Another tip I really like is color coordination. If you're unsure, combine prints that share the same colors, all red and blue, or all yellow and orange. Don't mix very different colors or very different prints if your style is creative but not modern, because then you might feel it's too much. By taking these small precautions, you can incorporate print mixing into your daily outfits. But, as I always say, start small. Start with a bag or shoes. Nothing too big, nothing too exaggerated. The idea is to bring it in small doses. This way, you'll gradually add it to your wardrobe and, of course, enjoy yourself and feel beautiful, which is the most important thing. Number 17 is pieces with buckles, studs, and eyelets details that bring impact. In the 1970s, we had the huge phenomenon of wide belts and heavy accessories, which were a major highlight. And of course, they have made a comeback. These items carry a more rock and roll vibe, leaning a bit more punk, not as delicate or romantic as bohemian, and are ideal for those who love that glam rebel style, which is also a big hit for 2026. Here, you can choose shoes, boots, bags, jackets, and, of course, belts. After all, we're coming from a big statement belt trend, belts designed to be the main piece. The great thing about this type of item is that it adds weight, especially to simpler looks. So when we think about the classic jeans and tee outfit, adding an accessory like this brings a lot of style. It's perfect for those who enjoy a more modern, urban, rock and roll style. If your wardrobe is very minimalist, it's still worth adding one or two of these items, especially smaller accessories, like a belt or shoes with these details. That way, you add more personality to your wardrobe, especially if it's very basic and clean. You can go for any base color, but when it comes to pieces with buckles, studs, and eyelets, I'm mostly seeing shades of brown, burgundy, and black. Of course, you can be a bit different and bold by choosing an off-white piece. Certainly, this rock and roll style was one of the icons of the 1970s, and in 2026, it returns with a new face, rebellious yet luxurious. Number 18 is suede. Suede is soft and elegant. In the 1970s, suede dominated jackets and accessories in Western style, and in 2026, it makes its comeback. Suede can appear in skirts, bags, boots, practically any type of piece, but without a doubt, it's a material I recommend more for cooler days, since on hot days, it can cause some discomfort. When it comes to bags, they look stunning with dresses, especially flowy dresses. As for skirts, they pair beautifully with looser tops, flowy blouses, or even satin shirts to bring contrast and textures. Either way, suede brings that cozy, autumnal touch that I find absolutely gorgeous. It's the perfect material for those who love boho style, fall romance, or Western aesthetics. It's also very durable. So, if you're someone who values pieces that last a long time, suede is perfect for you. Plus, it carries a slightly timeless feel. Want a piece that will stay in your wardrobe forever? Choose suede. Number 19 is cowboy boots. This type of boot was a huge craze in the 1970s and has been in fashion for a few years now. The interesting thing is that in 2026, you can find bolder, more creative designs, but the ones that seem most popular are simpler versions. They are still Western boots, with the same look and essence, but without so many embroideries and extra details. Of course, this depends on your style. If your style is more creative, for example, there's no problem at all in continuing to wear the colorful, eye-catching versions. But if you're looking for a more timeless piece that you'll wear for a long time, even if your style changes, I'd recommend choosing shades like black, brown, especially coffee brown, and of course, designs without too much detail. These boots pair beautifully with bohemian style, which will be a major hit, but they also work for those who enjoy rock and roll or urban aesthetics. If you love the festival-inspired look I mentioned earlier, they're also an excellent choice and are set to remain in fashion for quite some time. My tip is simple. If you're creative, go for bold models. If you're more classic, simpler designs will suit you better. Number 20 is white shirt dresses. Here I'm talking about that piece that looks like a shirt-inspired dress. They were also a hit in the 1970s, often styled casually with wide belts. In 2026, you can choose to wear them with or without a belt. Either way, This is a piece that delivers elegance and classic appeal while also being very comfortable. You can go for models in different lengths, from short to ultra long. The key is that it fits your personal aesthetic. The beauty of this piece is its versatility. You can wear it alone, layered open over pants, or even as a beach cover-up. Ideal for minimalists, elegant women, or casual dressers, this piece is set to become a wardrobe favorite. It appeals to women who prefer practical, casual, everyday looks, as well as those who lean more traditional. In other words, simply perfect. And since we're talking so much about 70s, we can't forget to mention that elevated, glamorous boho chic is one of the biggest trends for 2026. I've explained step by step, piece by piece, everything that makes up this trend in the video showing up on your screen right now. So just click, and I'll be waiting for you there.